What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Jose here at the First Round By Podcast, accompanied by my boy, Mr. Soss.
What is going on, one and all? Welcome to yet another episode 37. And if you haven't yet watched them, go back and take a look at the last two episodes where we talked about the fantasy value, I guess, our top five-ish and sleepers of fantasy football for the quarterback and the running back positions. So go watch those episodes if you haven't yet, or watch them after this episode. Doesn't really matter. It's in a playlist, or it's going to be in a playlist by the time you guys see this. But yeah, so episode 37, we are talking about the wide receiver group. And obviously, just like with all the others, if you haven't played fantasy football, and this one is based off of PPR leagues, so because we're both in PPR leagues, so just make sure that you take that into account, and also make sure you just take into account that this is just purely our opinion. Neither one of us are experts. At least I'm not getting paid to do any of this stuff yet, but I'm probably not going to. I'm not smart enough to do that. But anyway, so I got a top five wide receivers, and then I've got, I think, three sleepers. What do you have?
I actually have top five and three sleepers.
Oh, yeah. So we both have three sleepers.
Yeah.
If you have not yet, like I said, check out the other episodes first, and then come back to this one so that you can get the full array of this little fantasy football topic, since it's right around the corner. But with that being said, our top five wide receivers starting out. Who do you got at number 5?
So, and this was a little bit tough for me.
Super tough for me.
Yeah, so my number 5 wide receiver for PPR, my personal opinion, is Mr. Justin Jefferson. And the reason why I have him as my number 5 is, well, first of all, you can't deny his talent. You saw what he did last year. You saw what he did his rookie year as well.
Right.
The only thing that kind of hurts me is Kirk Cousins being his quarterback.
Dude,
like,
it kills me.
The thing about it is, though, he's been able to do what he's been doing with Kirk Cousins.
Right.
So, I mean, that's not really, what's the right word I'm looking for?
A negative,
or like, I guess, too big of a factor, because he's doing what he's doing with Kirk Cousins.
Right.
Right. But I feel like eventually that's going to catch up to him.
Right.
Right. But obviously, Justin Jefferson, you saw, like I said earlier, you guys have seen what he's been doing. He's a freaking monster. He gets open. Doesn't matter if you double team him or whatever. He's gonna find a way to get open.
He is nasty.
And he was kind of tough for me to put at my 5. But
did you want to put him higher or lower?
Probably higher.
Higher.
He could be higher, but I don't know. Like I said, Kirk Cousins really put a dent in my thought process. But like I mentioned in the previous episode, if you watched that, according to Justin Jefferson, the Vikings are going to a pass-first offense this year.
Oh, Lord.
So that obviously will benefit Justin Jefferson if that is true.
Well, the coaches, they know a whole hell of a lot more about that squad than we do. So if they trust Kirk Cousins to do it, we talked off camera about it, and I told him, I was like, listen, the only thing that I've noticed is that they haven't gotten anywhere with it. They haven't had any, or at least they haven't gone very far in the playoffs with Kirk Cousins. So rip Peruskis to that idea.
Rip Peruskis.
That's right. Soon to be on the merch page.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my number 5, Deebo Samuel.
Deebo Samuel, okay.
Part of the reason why is because he is such a utility. And everybody already knows he's got the talent and everything. Yeah, he had those issues with the Niners and everything, with the contract talks and the contract extension and everything. Everything's kind of pointing toward it being resolved for the most part, at least resolved to the point where he's going to be a factor. And of course, it wouldn't have even mattered if he got traded. It doesn't matter. Deebo Samuel is Deebo Samuel. He's got the running. He's got the pass catching. He's going to get you a bunch of points. So that's why I have him in my top 5.
So let me piggyback off of that. So I'm going to be honest with you. He was a hell of a player this past year, obviously, but I didn't even put him in my top 5. Reason being is because he was the reason why, as far as I'm concerned, the reason why he wanted out of San Francisco was because he was being used as a running back as well.
Yes.
And honestly, a lot of the points that he was getting was because he was being used as a running back.
Right.
So
you don't think that they're going to use him as much as a running back?
Well, I don't think so, because he was requesting a trade for that reason, and the 49ers ended up keeping him and not trading him. So I feel like they kind of came to a mutual agreement where they weren't going to utilize him in the backfield like they were this past season. So I feel like that's going to equal to less touches. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I feel like that was going to equal less touches running back wise, but I feel like that's going to give him more touches wide receiver wise.
Right. And I can see what you're saying, but personally, I feel like he's not going to have as good as a year as what he did last year for that specific reason.
I can agree with that for sure.
But for me, I would pick him in the top 10. I would put him in the top 10 receivers for sure, but not in my top 5.
But I also put a lot more stock into the utility aspect of it, I think. So, which is evident in my quarterback selections and stuff like that. So, who is your number 4?
So my number 4 will be Mr. Jamar Chase. Obviously, his rookie season was outstanding. You can't deny it. He was right there neck to neck with Justin Jefferson, talent-wise, his rookie season. And obviously, you got Joe Burrow playing the way that he's playing. Kind of like what I said on our quarterback episode is I don't think Joe Burrow is going to slow down. If anything, he's going to stay the same, or if not, obviously improve. So what comes with Joe Burrow improvement? Jamar Chase improvement.
That's right.
So, and like I said, he's only been in the league for 1 year, so he's only going to go uphill from here.
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't think he's going to have a sophomore slump. So I think he's going to be a damn good receiver this year. Of course, he's going to get even better connection with Joey B, even though they did play in college together as well.
Absolutely.
But Jamar Chase could have actually been higher on my list, but you'll see why I didn't put him higher on my list, I guess.
So you got him at number 4?
Number 4.
I've got, I actually have Justin Jefferson at number 4.
Okay.
And literally, same thing. I actually have it written down. I don't trust Kirk Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust him at all, but you cannot deny it. It's pretty much just echoing what you said. You can't deny that talent and everything. The offense, especially if it's going pass first, then that makes his value even higher. But like I said, it's so tough to trust Kirk Cousins. But like you said, they've been making it work. So who you got at number 3?
So my number 3 is, and this was, like I said, this was a little tough for me. So my number 3 is Stefon Diggs. And the reason why I have Stefon Diggs as number 3 is, well, for one, he's been a hell of a receiver for the past 4 or 5 years. He does have Josh Allen throwing him the ball. And, I mean, they've already kind of made that chemistry. They have that connection already. So it's not like he's on a new team. They know each other. They know Josh Allen knows when to hit Stefon Diggs whenever he's on route or whatever. So that's what he made it to my top 3. He has good hands, a good route runner. You could say he's one of the better route runners in the league.
He is, for sure.
Veteran player, so he knows what to do. Top 3 for sure.
Interesting that you say that.
On a pass heavy offense.
Right. So I'm actually going to spoil a little bit of my list. I don't actually have Stefon Diggs in my top 5.
Interesting.
And part of the reason why is because even though, so Josh Allen, if you didn't watch the previous episode and stuff, I'll give you a hint. Josh Allen was my number 1. And so, but part of the reason why is because he distributes the ball so much to so many other players that it makes it really, really tough whenever you got someone like him or even Patrick Mahomes or just all these other quarterbacks that like to distribute out the ball pretty evenly and stuff. That's why it made it really hard for me to choose Stefon Diggs. But obviously the talent is there. But my number 3 was actually Devonta Adams. And part of the reason why it was kind of hard to put that there, but the only other reason why I did it is because obviously Devonta Adams is a monster. He is an absolute freak as a wide receiver. And going back to they went to Fresno together, right? Him and Carr.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So he's back with his old college quarterback. We've yet to see how well that connection is going to be. However, even though Derek Carr isn't super flashy or anything like that, Derek Carr is still a pretty good quarterback. He's still, I would say, probably top 15-ish. He's kind of a middle-of-the-road quarterback. But I think that him and Devonta Adams can make each other better. And so because of that, and that, plus you've got all those you've got the other weapons that the Raiders have and everything. But Devonta Adams is going to be a focal point of that offense, especially since he's got that connection with Derek Carr. So that's why I put him at number 3.
Okay, I can respect that. My turn for number 2?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So my number 2, Devonta Adams. So reason
awesome.
You pretty much already spoke for me. So Devonta Adams, he's a raw talent. Very rarely does he drop passes.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like what I said about Stefon Diggs. He's a great route runner. He's a good red zone threat. Catches anything he throws, but then again, he's also been playing with Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
Can he do the same? Can he repeat that same success with Derek Carr? I don't know. We'll have yet to see. Yes, they went to college together, but I mean that was 7-8 years ago.
Right.
They're gonna have to reconnect, regroup. But like I said, Devonta Adams, I do have him at number 2. He is a hell of a receiver, and I feel like in that division, whenever you got the Chiefs, the Chargers, and who am I missing?
Chiefs, Chargers,
the Broncos. So there's going to be a lot of neck-to-neck games, a lot of pass-heavy games. So obviously you throw the Raiders in the mix. So I feel like they're going to be a pass-heavy team as well.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like they're going to be like, I don't know. I feel like they're going to pass the ball a lot. Derek Carr's going to have to pass the ball a lot.
They've got Darren Waller. They've got Hunter
Renfro. And I don't even know what other receivers they have.
And they just have a lot of weapons.
Right. So, I don't know. That's why I put Devonta Adams as my number 2.
It made it kind of easy for me to also put him in there because I don't know if I think I remember telling you about that press conference he had where he was talking about what made him choose the Raiders and everything like that. And he's a Raiders fan growing up. And so I think adding in all that hype and all that excitement, plus you got that big-ass money deal and everything, I think he's going to be really good. So my number 2 actually was Jamar Chase. And just because of the fact that obviously kind of like what you said, a great connection with Joe Burrow, they're both going to be ascending. And that's part of the reason why I put him at number 2 is because he had an incredible rookie season. And I think he's just going to get better. The only reason why it was kind of tough for me to also put him at number 2 was because of T. Higgins. Because T. Higgins is also like on the ESPN thing, he was a top 10 wide receiver. So, and Joe Burrow, he's got tons of different toys to play with and stuff, but they got that special connection. So that's why I went with him at number 2. And lastly, at number 1, I'm 99.9% sure we have the exact same person at number 1. AJ Brown. I'm just kidding.
Christian Kirk, right?
Yeah.
Nah. Cooper Kupp.
Cooper
Kupp. Obviously, the past couple years he's been blowing it up, especially last year.
God.
Matthew Stafford, the new sheriff in town, he's been lighting it, or he lit it up last year.
Yep. And Kupp just got his bag.
Yeah, he just got his bag, and I feel like they're literally just gonna repeat what they did last year. I mean, he might not have the freaking record-breaking season that he had last year,
but he's gonna have a damn good season.
But he's gonna have a good season, like Stossman said. But Cooper Kupp, you can't go wrong with him, with picking Cooper Kupp number 1, the first wide receiver, I should say, off the board. Yeah. But Cooper Kupp,
I think he's definitely worthy of top 5 pick.
Oh, easily top 3.
Top 3, yeah. No, I could see that for sure.
Top 3 if you're playing PPR, especially.
Yeah, and that's why we also said PPR because Cooper Kupp is a PPR god. Mm-hmm. So, okay, so real quick, we're gonna go through our sleepers.
Okay.
So, actually, since we both did that. I'll just throw out one of my first sleepers.
Okay.
Tyreek Hill.
Okay.
So, yeah, I know. I saw that face. The only reason why I have him as a sleeper is because he's still going to get his stats. He's going to get his stats. He's nasty. He is an absolutely nasty player. Granted, they have a ton of weapons on that Miami team, but he was bitching and moaning the entire last season about getting targets and everything. And so, of course, they just paid him a shit ton of money. They're going to get him the ball. Mm-hmm. And they're going to get him the ball quite a bit. Granted, I don't feel comfortable putting him probably just outside the top 10. Mm-hmm. But I kind of classify him as a sleeper because of the fact that I don't put him in the top 10.
Right.
So, who's one of your sleepers?
So, I'm just going to piggyback off what you said.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't put him as a sleeper just because, for me, a sleeper is someone that's not even supposed to get recognized as a top receiver. Does that make sense, I guess?
Well, but he also is going to a brand new situation.
Right, but it is Tyreek Hill, though. I mean, that's just the way that I see it. Like, Tyreek Hill's Tyreek Hill. Like, he's going to do his thing. Like, yeah, a lot of it's going to depend on who's throwing him the rock, but I don't know. But I do like that. I do feel like Tyreek Hill's going to do his thing. But one of my sleepers, and I have 3, one of my sleepers is Michael Pittman Jr.
That's actually one of my sleepers as well.
And we can both hit on this. So one of the wide receivers for the Colts. And obviously they brought in Matt Ryan. Obviously he's not in his prime anymore, but he's still a good quarterback, a veteran presence. And I feel like he's just going to elevate Michael Pittman's game.
Yeah.
And he played pretty well under Carson Wentz last year.
Yep.
So keep him on your radar. If he's available towards the end of the rounds, middle of the rounds, don't be afraid to pick up Michael Pittman.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like this is going to be his breakout year, honestly.
Definitely. And I would probably look at him more as like a wide receiver too. But he, like you said, dude's got an immense amount of talent. He's going to be one of the focal points, especially since they're more than likely going to be accessing that play action pass. And he's going to be the receiver, I guess, of a lot of deep bombs, I'm sure. He's a phenomenal talent, and he's one of the better talents at wide receiver on that squad. So I think it's hilarious that we both picked him.
Right.
That's the second time in this series that we've both picked the same sleeper.
Right.
So actually, I'm curious, who's your third sleeper?
So I have two other ones.
Oh, yeah, 4?
No, I have 3.
Oh, yeah, 3. My bad.
So one of my other ones is actually Mike Williams. So
Okay.
I feel like he's getting overlooked a lot just because of Keenan Allen. You got to remember Keenan Allen. I think he might be in his early 30s or late 20s.
Yes, he's getting up there.
He might be like 31 or something. But he's getting older. Keenan Allen, he's a hell of a talent, obviously. He's been great. But like I said, he's getting older. Michael Williams, he did step up a bunch last year, and I feel he's only going to get better. I do feel like Mike Williams is going to be wide receiver 1 in the Chargers organization. So if it was up to me, I would honestly probably pick Mike Williams before Keenan Allen.
I could see that for sure. For sure, absolutely. No, Mike Williams, he's a great talent. Great talent.
Yeah, plus, a good vertical.
He high points the ball, and he's a great red zone threat. So he's definitely going to be getting a lot of looks. If they don't bomb it out, then in the red zone, they're going to give him a ton of looks and stuff. I like that one.
Like I said, on pass heavy offense.
Yeah.
So
my last sleeper is going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown, and part of the reason why I chose him is because I think I told you about it last season. Last season, it was rough with injuries, and I was looking on the waiver wire, saw Amon-Ra St. Brown available, took a flyer on him, and that fool brought me to the championship. So I definitely appreciate him. I got to put some respect on his name because every single game, even though the Lions were absolutely dog shit for most of the year, every single game he was putting up tons and tons of points, like reception wise. They could be in a blowout and stuff, and he'd still get 6 receptions for like 80 yards.
Yeah.
So I think he's definitely a good wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3.
Yeah, I like that pick. And I remember, I think it was during the playoffs, you showed me your lineup.
Yep.
And I think I told you, I was like, dude, why are you playing him? And I think I gave you shit for it. And I was like, dude, put this other guy. I think it was, I forgot what other wide receiver, but I was like, you need to put this other guy in. And then you ended up leaving him in the lineup, and I forgot how many points he got you, but he blew up. He gave you a good amount of points.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that's a good pick.
No, I really like it too. All right, so quickly moving on, we're going to just touch on real quick.
Wait. I got one more sleeper.
Oh, you did? My bad.
So my last sleeper would be Marquise Hollywood Brown. So a lot of people are forgetting about this cat. So the only reason that he didn't live up to his potential in Baltimore was because of his quarterback. And no disrespect to Lamar Jackson. You know I love Lamar Jackson, but he's not a pass-first quarterback.
That's why it's such an interesting take to hear from you on that.
No, but that's what I'm saying, though. He's not a pass-first quarterback. Like, he's a dual-threat quarterback. He'll run you the ball, but, I mean, he's not like a Justin Herbert, Joey Burrow, Tom Brady, Matthew Stafford type of quarterback.
For sure.
So now that he's with the Cardinals, Kyler Murray is also a dual threat. He runs the ball like Lamar Jackson as well, but he has a better arm than Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
And they also played college ball together at OU. You put them both in there, and he's gonna blow up. DeAndre Hopkins is on a 6-game suspension, so he's gonna slide into the wide receiver 1 role. So honestly, Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown, pick his ass up early if you can. He's gonna blow up. I'm telling you, he's gonna blow up. I know he is.
I do like that pick, especially with the suspension coming up and everything. Kind of like what you said, though. I guess I just don't have a lot of faith in Kyler Murray, especially toward the end of the season. Last season, he really shit the bed. So, and basically, obviously, it's one of those things where it's like the last thing, recent memory. So, but I do like his prospects with Kyler Murray more so than with Lamar Jackson, especially since he also is not going to be the whole focal point of it. Like, because for a while he is going to be, especially since he's going to step into that wide receiver 1 role. but they've got other talents there to kind of take the load off him. So I can agree with that. I think that he'll blow up.
Right, and I do want to cut this episode short here pretty soon, or cut it, whatever. But another name that I wanted to throw out there that I didn't write on my list is CeeDee Lamb. They did get rid of Amari Cooper.
Yep.
So CeeDee Lamb's going to slide into that wide receiver 1 status.
Which he was already kind of sliding into throughout the season.
Right. Great route runner, good hands. And I feel like Dak Prescott and him are going to connect really well this upcoming season. So CeeDee Lamb, keep him on your radar. I feel like he's going to have a breakout year for sure.
Absolutely. And with that being said, guys, we're going to go ahead and end this episode. And on the next one, and we're adding in the tight ends as well on that episode. So, because we wanted to try to keep these short and sweet so that you guys can really, really take in and enjoy these episodes. So, let us know what you guys think about the wide receivers and everything, what we chose and everything. And with that being said, just go check out firstroundbuy.com and watch this whole series because it's been a lot of fun for us. So we want to hear from you guys. But with that being said, we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.